Predator Killer of Killers. This is a television show on Hulu, animated TV series. Let's just jump into it.
You are old enough now. It's time I tell you about the monster. We must kill it, or it will kill us all.
I feel like they definitely got some different looks and different takes on the Predator for once.
Interesting thing, I think, is that by going animated, they can really explore like all the lore. Originally, the Predator 2 movie was supposed to be Dutch, so it was supposed to be Arnold Schwarzenegger. He didn't sign back on, so then they were going to do his brother, and then they wrote an actual comic. So in the comics, the Predator's actually hunting Dutch's brother. They went, the different route and went with Danny Glover in Predator 2, the movie. So, I mean, by going animated, if it does well, they can like explore all like these cool other storylines they've talked about.
It looks like we're going to go through like the ages and history of human civilization, which I think that's kind of a cool and interesting take. Now, I don't know if that's going to, go episode by episode, or is it a whole season and then like the next season will be a different time period?
From what I understand is it will be 3 episodes. So it starts with Viking, then it goes to Feudal Japan, then it goes to World War II. It's like going in the timeline.
Order. How are you feeling about like the designs of the different Predators? Yes, definitely different takes on like each one, so it doesn't look like a classic Predator, but your views on how they look?
Like if one that's beating his chest looks cool.
Yeah.
The one that was kind of in the plane with the eye patch or whatever it is, I almost didn't think that was a Predator.
Yeah, I mean the flying one, I'm still,
Yeah.
let's see how it's done, but definitely not sold on that. That doesn't look like a Predator. Even the armor and stuff and the weaponry they make look really cool. And this, he's like super simplistic. So I'm wondering if maybe this is further into his hunt, when they start like shedding gear to be like, okay, you're a worthy opponent. Let me, just go down to the bare minimum as far as weaponry go. So it definitely looks like a very, very altered Predator, Yautja.
Even there, I mean, that almost reminds me of Jeepers Creepers.
It does. Yeah, he's trying to change things up, right? Because same director as Prey. And in Prey, that Predator looks significantly different than classic Predators. So yeah, he's just trying to kind of expand the universe, the world.
Being a fan of the first 2 movies for the most part, I'm interested to see, when is it supposed to come out? Soon?
June 6th.
Okay, that's not far off at all.
When you think about doing a mini series like this, what's the goal here? Is it to gauge interest, to keep the series going, or to launch into a full-fledged animated movie? Like, what are they trying to do?
They're trying to gauge enthusiasm for Predator in general, because remember, Prey was released on Hulu. It wasn't released in theaters, and it did extremely well, right? So probably what they're looking at, because they are working on Predator Badlands, right? So they're probably trying to gauge like what type of a box office hit it'll be if they spend all the time and money to actually send it to theaters. Because, you know, if they do that, typically rule of thumb is whatever their budget is in the movie, you double that. They spend about the same amount in advertising as they do in making the movie itself. And then it's something like they split like half the profits with the movie theaters. So, you know, when a movie's making $100 million, the studio isn't getting $100 million to pay off the debt that they incurred to make the film. They're sharing that with each one of the theaters that is showing the movie. Right. So it's a hell of an investment. They're trying to gauge enthusiasm and then also keep the interest up.
They're doing 2 this year, this and the other one. And then he hasn't actually denied that he won't be willing to do a Prey 2. So, you know, it could all be a plan. See how this one hits. See what happens with Badlands, and then maybe it gets him writing Prey 2.
I've always been one of the, unfortunately, the people that have held out hope that Arnold Schwarzenegger would return to the franchise. And every time a new Predator comes out, he's always approached, and for one reason or another, it just never works out. Obviously, he loves the movie and the franchise, and if you ever hear him talk about his experience, I mean, it seemed like it was brutal, but it was like amazing. And I'm kind of thinking at this point in his life, maybe the only way we're going to get the return of Dutch is in animated form. So I hope if that happens, that is an animated movie, you know, with Arnold Schwarzenegger obviously voicing Dutch. I hope they at some point like show the fight between Billy and the original Jungle Predator, because I think it was budgetary issues kept them from being able to shoot it. Second greatest character was freaking big ass Indian with a fucking machete for a knife. That dude was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's from the first Predator movie.
Original one,
Yeah.
yeah.
He was one of the squad members that gets killed.
He's second to last to get killed. He tries to make a stand, and then, you know, he's on that giant downed tree. So yeah, he's, you know, iconic scene. He's shedding all of his shit, and he just pulls out his big ass knife and's waiting. And then they cut once the Predator comes up. And then a little bit later, you hear him scream, and you're like, shit, you didn't. Oh. You show everyone's death but Billy's.
All right, well, cool, interesting. Maybe it'll surprise and turn out really well. All right, so Predator Killer of Killers official trailer. If you're new to the channel, our reactions are kind of lackluster, so stick around for the conversation afterwards. Thanks. Actually, we're just normal people and just watch shit in silence so we can actually see it, and then we'll talk about it afterwards.
That's correct. We're not the assholes at the movie theaters that have to comment on everything.
Well, we are assholes.
Definitely. Oh, for sure. Okay, Predator Killer of Killers official trailer.
My son, tell me why we fight.
Because our enemy still lives.
You all have traveled far and missed the warmth of home. But tonight, think of only one thing. Killing the monster.
Right, that Predator definitely has the coolest weapons.
There's something else up in the sky, and it's not human.
I pray you bloody your spear tonight. You are ready now. There's only one way to kill it. We must fight together.
Here we go. What happens if we survive?
Now those are some dreads.
Okay. Shit, the whole series is rated R?
June 6th. I definitely like the look of the Samurai Predator. It's got unique weapons, and that looks pretty badass.
This is an improvement over the sneak peek for sure. I'm enjoying the art style. As someone who doesn't typically get into the animated series stuff, I do like that. I think the only other thing I really enjoyed was Into the Spider-Verse. I thought that was really, really, really well done. But I'm liking this for sure. You know, I have a feeling it's kind of interesting, like someone's pumping some money into the Predator franchise here lately with the movie coming out and then this series. So I'm kind of interested as a whole to see where they're trying to go with everything.
Now, my only thing is to change it up, make it unique. There are 3 different Predator storylines going on right here. You should kind of have one of them win, right? Not all of them have to survive. Humans shouldn't always be the victors.
It looks like our boy here from World War II does not win.
Yeah, unless it's going with kind of the Predator 2, right? Where he kills the Predator on the ship and then afterwards they surround him and then give him a prize, right? So I'm assuming that's what's going to happen with this guy.
Thought this underwater scene was kind of interesting. Yeah, that. I kind of like that wide shot. So she clearly he's stuck or got trapped on something underwater there. That's pretty frightening looking.
Yeah, right. I'm definitely going to be watching this show.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully it does well to where they make more of them.
Now, in the Predator comics, do they do anything like this?
Yeah, so I mean, they have a bunch of different storylines in the comics, right? With different Yautja in different like scenarios. The comics are cool. When it was with Dark Horse, they did a good job making all the different Predators unique with their different storylines. There's one storyline where there's a Yautja hunting party that goes down to Xenomorph Prime. I can't remember what the planet's called. His entire group is wiped out except for him, and he has to survive by himself on a planet entirely of xenomorphs. And it's for, I can't remember if it's for like a year or years, but it's cool.
Awesome. Looks interesting. If this is the main trailer, we may not get another one before it starts, but if we can, maybe we'll try and watch it and do an episode by episode review.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, they all 3 get released at the same time.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
All right, Predator franchise trying to make a comeback. All we can do is hope.
Yeah. We can hope Dutch comes back. That's what we can hope.